Hey everyone, it's Ferociousllama here with MTG Confidant again with another Eldrazi deck for Modern. Basically, what we have is, last time I ran Mono Black, this time we're doing Black-White. And this was actually the first deck I built in Magic Online, and I really liked it. I tried Mono Black because that was one of the other ones I saw that a lot of people had been playing. But here's what I like about the white deck. It's got Path to Exile, which removes stuff from the game. It's just a card that not only kills a creature, but it's now removed for our Wasteland Strangler or for our Blight Herder or Wasteland Strangler, Blight Herder. We have Lingering Souls, which keeps us alive against some of the more aggressive decks, and it's also got the relics, which I think are really important. That was something that wasn't exactly what I thought. I didn't think was the best. Celestial Purge on the sideboard. Anyway, we're running three Eye of Ugin, 4 Eldrazi Temple, 4 Ghost Quarters. Originally, the deck only had 1 Ghost Quarter and then 1 sideboard, but I've noticed that since Splinter Twin got banned, there's been a huge surge in Tron. There's very aggressive decks, and then there's Tron and other Eldrazi decks. That's it. That's really all there is. So I wanted to run 4 Ghost Quarters just because I think that's a good move. And yeah, it does hurt us, but when we look at how many colored spells we actually have, there's only, 18 colored spells in the whole deck, and those only require 1 colored mana. So it's not like, having a single Godless Shrine is going to, be the end of us or anything. It's actually going to be probably not that bad. And then, if we get an Urborg out, then all we need is, a couple white sources, and we're fine. We're totally good to go. So I'm not really worried about getting colored mana, and that could be a problem, and if it is, we'll change the mana base later on. But Ghost Quarters were for the Tron matchup and for the other decks with, Eye of Ugin, Eldrazi Temple, stuff like that. Got 2 Godless Shrines. There used to be 3, but I found that the Ghost Quarters were really, really important. 4 Marsh Plats to search them up. 1 Plains, 1 Swamp, in case there's a Blood Moon, which is also pretty rampant right now also. Shambling Vent. Now, one thing I like about Shambling Vent is it comes into play tapped. I don't like that part, but what I do like about Shambling Vent is it's just a man land, which is something that I think the Mono Black version is really missing. At least the modern, the Mono Black version I tried, was it just didn't have any man lands, and that was a problem. So hopefully, when I try the Blue Black version, maybe I'll try it with some of those, I forget what it's called, the Blue Black Manland from Zendikar. But anyway, then we have one basic Swamp, because we need that, and then 3 Urborgs. I know a lot of these decks run 4 Eyes and 4 Urborgs, but they're both legendary, so I'm kind of trying to keep those down. And we do need the colored mana sources, the white sources. We need the white, and we need a certain amount of colorless, because we need the Temples, we need the Eyes, and we need the Ghost Quarters. So, we're doing the best we can with what we got. Hopefully, colored mana won't be a big problem with this deck. And then basically, when we get to the deck, we have a few removal spells. There's Slaughter Pact, 2 Go for the Throats, and then 4 Path to Exiles. But Path to Exile have that double handy dandy double feature that I mentioned of exile because it does exile the creature. It lets us put it back in with a Blight Herder or a Wasteland Strangler later. 5 discard spells, 3 Inquisitions, 2 Thoughtseize. Only because I think, losing the 2 life in this metagame is rough. And then we got 2 Expedition maps that'll search up our missing Eye of Ugin or our Urborg. Usually not Urborg. A lot of times I notice that a lot of players overvalue Urborg, I think. Because, yeah, when Urborg comes into play, if you already have an Eye of Ugin, Urborg is 2 mana. But you could also get an Eldrazi Temple. But, it does do that. It does do fixing also, because it lets us have, virtually unlimited, all the black mana we need. So, it's kind of a close one. I don't know. I don't know which side of the fence anybody wants to be on that one. We got 2 Expedition maps just to search up, just for that. It's probably mostly going to search an Eye, or probably an Eldrazi Temple is what I find myself searching up most, assuming we have colored mana already. And I'm sure occasionally you can go for like a Shambling Vent or a Godless Shrine against, Shambling Van against some kind of creature deck with like a couple of 1/1s, like elves or something, and they don't have any lords, and we're just getting beat for 3 a turn or something. And then 4 Relic of Progenitus, just to exile cards out of their graveyard. And what's also good about it is it's good against some of the decks that play like Storm, that play Past in Flames, and it's also good against Lingering Souls, which we also run. So, and we can pop it and draw a card, which is always nice. And then we have Lingering Souls, keep us alive, like I mentioned, keep us alive against the real aggressive decks. And then Wasteland Strangler, sweet removal spell with a Eye of Ugin. It's actually 1 mana for a 3/2 that kills a creature when it comes into play, which is pretty sweet. Blightherder is really good, better than I thought, because it does have, it does come with 3 1/1 tokens, and a 4/5 for 5 is not terribly great, but a 4/5 for 5 with 3 1/1s is great. And then if we have an eye, it's only 3 mana. So Blightherder is actually one of the better cards if we get its activated ability. If we don't get its its special ability when it comes into play, or its cast ability rather, it's probably not that good. And then we have Oblivion Sower, which initially, when I remember when the card was previewed, it looked okay. I thought the picture was kind of funny. I still do, but I didn't think it was as phenomenal as to make it a mythic. But when I think about kind of how the current metagame is, especially after a bunch of stuff's been exiled, like late in the game, Oblivion Sower gets better and better and better. So, and against some of the decks with a lot of lands, it's pretty sweet. And I mean, I even had games where, I would attack with an Ulamog, and then it got Path somehow a couple turns later. And then later we Oblivion Sower, and I've gotten, 12 land off an Oblivion Sower, which is pretty sick. So, that happens. And it's a great finisher. It's a 5/8, it's hard to kill. It gets Path exiled or terminated or whatever, but it got 8 toughness, so it's hard to burn it out. Really hard to burn it out. Especially for like the blue-red decks, now that there's not Twin running around. And then we have Celestial Purge. 2 of those for, Liliana or whatever else I might need. The Red Titan, whatever it's called. Couple of disenchants because they're versatile. 2 Stony Silences against... those are actually for the Tron matchup and for the Affinity matchup, which is popular online right now. Timely Reinforcements because it gains life. That's kind of for the burn matchup, really. Or for, the real aggressive decks. And the same thing with Ghostly Prisoners. I've noticed that the original sideboard had a bunch of Spell Skites because Spell Skites were good. They were good to have against Twin. Now there's no Twin, so I think Spellskite it's still a good card, but it's not... I don't know if this deck actually needs it. I think it probably needs it against like Boggles or something, but I don't know. But Ghostly Prison is great because it can keep, those decks that have a lot of creatures from attacking. And then, 2 Surgical Extractions because we can hopefully, get like an Urza land, or, if there's a deck like Scapeshift, we can get them to discard a Scapeshift and then Surgical Extract it or something. And then we got Dragon's Claw and Timely Reinforcement. These are for the burn matchup. So, anyway, let's play some matches, see how it goes.